Welcome to the MVP show. Today we're chatting with Andrey Baludin. He's from St. Petersburg in Russia. And I've been to St. Petersburg. I love it. And you know what? I've got to say, I've never, ever met a Russian that I didn't like. They're such wonderful people. And Andrey is no exception in this case. Full show notes can be found at nz365guy.com/177. Now let's get on with the show. Andrey, welcome to the show.
Hello, Mark.
Strasvice. How's that? Did I say it correctly?
Well, could you repeat one time again?
Okay, Strasvice.
I understood you. Здравствуйте.
Strasvice.
You can say just привет.
Привет.
Yeah,
yes.
It's hello. Hi.
Yes. Привет. What about пожалуйста?
It's yeah, absolutely correctly.
Thank you.
You know Russian a lot.
I know a little bit because I've spent a couple of weeks in Russia.
Oh, great. I can teach you a little bit more phrases in Russian if you want to, of course.
Yes. So I'm so excited to have you on the show because, interestingly, you come from St. Petersburg. Is that right?
Yes.
Or Leningrad, as it used to be called.
It's St. Petersburg. It's so-called northern capital of Russia.
So tell us about what you like doing there.
Now we want to have a little bit more sun because it's deep winter, and winter in this year is quite wet. Yesterday we had a little snow, but now it's raining all the time, so a little bit windy. Now it's not the best time to visit St. Petersburg, so we just dream about sun.
Yeah, I can understand that. My favorite building in St. Petersburg, I think, is it St. Isaac's? Is that in St. Petersburg?
Yeah, St. Isaac's Cathedral, of course. It's I think it's one of 2 or 3 great cathedrals in the city center. Kazansky Cathedral and St. Isaac, yes. Have you been on the top of St. Isaac Cathedral? Yeah.
Yes.
Nice view.
Yeah, amazing. And when we were there, we were at the end of spring. So, you know, we were able to go in the canals. We were able to go to Peterhof, and yeah, it was an amazing time. This is about 3 years ago now.
It was end of May.
I tell you, the defining date is that it blew my mind. There was a full military parade.
It's the beginning of May. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, the big main square. I have never seen so many military tanks and personnel and rocket launchers and overhead aircraft in one space in my life. It was just incredible.
It was a victory parade. Our office is quite near to the Palace Square, so we are able to see it each year.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. I mean, the jets that flew overhead just blew my mind. Just absolutely phenomenal. But I can see why Russia shows this great military strength because of the history, you know, of what went on in, you know, St. Petersburg particularly was just horrific back in the Second World War.
Yeah, it was blockade time. It was our tragedy.
Yeah, just incredible. But tell me a bit about you. Tell me about you've recently become an MVP. Is that right?
Yeah, I become an MVP 1 year ago, so I have a little anniversary now. So
when was the anniversary of being an MVP?
It was 1st of February.
1st of February. Wow. So it's just on 1 year.
Yeah. 1 year.
Wow. That's so cool. And what area do you specialize in the Microsoft business app side of things?
I'm specialized in business applications category and directly in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. It's my topic.
Okay, and I take it you started then in the what was it, NAV side of things, Navision?
Yeah, it was Navision. I've have first met with Navision in 2007. I was working on a customer side, and one partner started implementing a project in our company, and I work as a process engineer in the company, and I was selected like a key user for a system. And after a year, the project team invite me to join ERP department as a technical consultant, so-called. So I accepted this offer, of course, and I started as a consultant for employees, how to work with system, how to install the client, a little of tech support for them, so far so on. But after 2 or 3 years maybe of consultant work, it become a little bit boring because system on customer side changing not so often. So new people appearing, I'm starting to teach them again and again the same things, and it become boring. So I asked my boss, who was a developer and a deep consultant also, a very professional man, and I asked him to show me some development processes, how to develop for NAV, for Navision that time. And he started to teach me how to develop. Also, I ended financial college, as I've got an extra education as an accountant. Yeah, after getting master's degree, I got a middle degree in a college as an accountant also. And yes, development was much more interesting than consultants work for me. And but quantity of tasks start reducing. Tasks was not very interesting, and after 7.5 years of working on a customer side, I joined to a small Microsoft partner and started to develop for different customers. It was much more interesting. It was a totally new experience for me. I saw that how other systems could be. The other I worked for 7 years for only one customer, and only the only thing I know, it was that system. That's all. So on the partner side, I saw a lot of different systems on different businesses. It was agriculture, so maybe aviation company, agriculture, automobile car company, and so a lot of them, a lot of absolutely different businesses, a lot of absolutely different systems implementing. I learned a lot of new things in the development for NAV. But after a year, the business in that company become not very good. We lost by some reasons 2 key customers, and after that I've got an offer from my current employer, from our IT, and I joined them. And after that, for me, becomes a new story, new tasks. I've started to dive deeply into the integration, into the building integrations between NAV and different systems. And and 1 year later, my boss have been nominated for MVP, and he become an MVP. And it was very surprising for us, because all that years in Russia, in business applications category, we had only 2 MVPs. One of them, it was many years ago. One of them now work with Axapta, with finance and operations, and other now work in Microsoft Development Center in Copenhagen. And maybe about 8 or 10 years we had no MVPs in Russia in business applications, and suddenly my boss became an MVP in that category. After that, 1 year later, one girl from our company, she is our NAV practice lead. She also became an MVP in business application category. Yeah, and after that, I decided that I also have a lot of experience which I could share with people. I had wide-ranged experience in building of integration in web services and so on. And I started to write some articles for Dynamics community. I started to answer questions on a community forum. And we also organized meetups in Moscow and in St. Petersburg about Dynamics 365, about finance and operations, about Power BI. I started to share experience in live sessions between people. And the final point of that year for me was were the invitation on NAVTech Days. It's a big conference in Belgium, in Antwerp, one time per year. That year was only 12 sessions for today, and with my boss, we won one slot on this conference, and we presented a very good sessions on my mind, of course. With 2 months, I prepared interesting demos to show on the big scene. And finally, I prepared integration demo with Business Central, and we had an Arduino controller. It was example of integrating of IoT with the Business Central, and it was very nice scenario. We had Alco tester based on Arduino, and it checks the employee before posting the document that user are not drunk. So, so it was absolutely useless demo, but it was very fun. People were very glad to see it. So we got a good review after our sessions. So, and after all of this, yes, I was nominated as an MVP, and I was happy when Microsoft accepted my nomination.
Incredible. That's such an interesting journey. So, how many MVPs in business applications are there currently, do you know, in Russia?
We have 4 MVPs already.
So 3 work at your company.
Yeah, yes, and we also in our company we have an MVP in Power BI. So it's as I know, Power BI is also related to business applications. So now, but yeah, but almost all MVPs in Business Central works in our company, and also we have a plan to produce more MVPs. So we really pushing our people to share experience, to write an articles, to have a presentations on meetups and so on.
Yeah, that's so good. Now, are you doing when you say you encourage staff to, share their content? I take it you're doing that in Russian, right, rather than English.
It depends. We trying to push all the community in Russia to learn more, to implement new versions, because as I know, it's the same situation that in Russia and in Europe, when customers have old versions of NAV and even Navision, and they don't want to implement new version to shift to Business Central, because business processes in old system are very complicated, and it's very complex to move them to the Business Central. So they just trying to learn, but they still thinking how they could move, because it's very complex and very expensive process for all. So we're just trying to show the new possibilities of new system, how we could integrate it with almost everything, and people start thinking maybe we could invest in that system, it will be good for us.
So, what's the best thing about being an MVP?
I think it's you're getting a lot of connections. You get a connection with other MVPs. It's good if you want to present some sessions on some big conferences. It's much more easier to get a session slot on a conference when you are MVP, when you're just a simple developer.
So just talking about a developer, I see you've got various projects up on GitHub. And I find it interesting because is the main language you use Perl?
No, the main language that we use is AL, but they have no tag on GitHub, so it recognized
So
it as a Perl, yeah. But in fact, it's AL.
Perl was the first language I used, so I know it stands for I think it's Practical Extraction Reporting Language, or something like that. And so when I saw it, I was like, wow, I didn't realize anybody was still using Perl.
No, it's not Perl, unfortunately. I have no idea about Perl. Currently, we are using, in our company, we are using Azure DevOps. But for some demo repositories, if you want to share your code between different anonymous users, I'm just pushing it to the GitHub. It's a good idea to use GitHub if you write an article with some samples of code, instead of pasting screenshots. You just can give them a link to the GitHub repository, and people just could play with it.
Tell me, what advice would you give to other, people in the business application space, specifically in Russia, if they wanted to become an MVP? So specifically thinking of that Russian audience.
The best advice, you should feel yourself, how how to say. You just want to share your knowledge. It's not a work. It's not the ability. You just doing your regular job. You're creating some project for a customer, and something you discover. Sometimes you discover something new that you can't Google, or you are just find it but yourself, and you start feeling that world should know about it. So you just write an article, and people send you comments that, oh wow, it's cool, we also could use it. Sometimes it could be very rare situation, for example, how to download and unzip some file. It's not useful for all, but sometimes people searching such information, and it could be useful for them.
This is good. This is good. And so how do they specifically, though, get somebody to nominate them?
Usually we know the people who are writing an articles, who creates a lot of content, and who could be nominated in future. And we're trying to, how to say, to push them that they create more and more articles. You could be an MVP. You have a potential or something like that. Also, they have some kind of chats which union all the MVPs in Russia. So we have not so much MVPs. Totally, it's about 40 or 45 MVPs, and almost all of them are in permanent contact. So we share an articles. We trying to organize some conferences, some kind of, for example, Azure Days in Russia, where we are. But for business applications, MVPs, it's a little bit complex to taking part in such conferences, because our content is very specific. It's not a wide auditory. MVPs from Azure categories or from database, they have much more possibilities to provide their content. So we're trying to...
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, of course. So even on our sessions about Business Central, we usually shows how to integrate it with different Azure services, for example. So we are providing content which could be interesting for a little bit wider auditory than just for Business Central developers or NAV developers.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. If I was to come back to St. Petersburg, where do you recommend that I visit, and what food do you recommend I try?
Have you been in Peterhof?
Yes.
On where Fountain Park?
No, I haven't.
Oh, yeah, it's like outdoor palace with a lot of fountains, cascades, golden statues. Yeah, it's a brilliant place. You should.
You take the boat to it, right? You take the boat to get there?
Yeah, a lot of ways to visit it. You can use a boat, you can use a bus, you can use a train, everything. You can just call me, and I take you with my car, and
you take me.
Yeah, no problem. We organize you the best excursion.
I'll need to get another visa. It's hard work getting a visa to get into Russia. I'll have to go through that process again.
Yeah, you have my phone number, you have my email. Just write me, and we will organize you the best excursion.
Excellent. Okay, now our time is almost done, but I've got some random questions, and these are they're English random questions, so I don't know how they're going to translate, but let's see how we go. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Let's start.
Let's start. If you could switch places with one of your friends for a day, who would it be and why?
I have one friend, and he has a very different spectrum of jobs. Yeah. So he could be a photographer. He could work as an electrician. He could work as a driver. He has a different job every day. So I want to shift with him for a day, not more.
Nice.
Not more.
Nice. What's one country in the world that you'd like to visit that you haven't yet?
This autumn, I met a couple of colleagues from New Zealand, and now I want to visit New Zealand. Yeah.
Nice. I'll make you most welcome when you come here. What's the worst boss you've ever had?
Boss. I heard like a bus. I think a trip on bus. I have a bad trip on the bus. That's fine. My worst boss, I'm lucky man. I never have had a bad boss. I love all my colleagues. Yeah, they all are very good people.
Very good, very good.
No one of them was a bad colleague. So it's amazing. Yes, but it's really so.
Who's your favorite celebrity?
He is not a celebrity in wide words, but it's he's a technical evangelist in Microsoft Development Center. He is Freddie Christensen. He is I can name him as my teacher. So he is a fantastic person, yes.
When you die, what do you want to be remembered for?
Remembered for being a good father.
Nice. That is so good. Would you rather not have arms or not have legs?
Interesting question. I prefer to have legs and arms. But I think, yes, I need arms.
Yeah, exactly. Andrey, it's been great to have you on the show. If people want to connect with you on social media, where can they find you?
LinkedIn or Twitter. It's the simplest way.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you've not heard about the 90-day mentoring challenge, I recommend you jump over to nz365guy.com/90daymc. So that's 90 DAY, capital DAY, and then capital MC after nz365guy.com. And check it out. We've had over 200 people enroll in 2020. We're open. I've already opened registrations for 2021, so you go up there, register your interest if you would like to be on that next mentoring challenge. It's 100% free. It'd be great to have you on that. Full show notes for this episode can be found at nz365guy.com/177. See you next time.